Okay. Namaste, beloveds. Um, this is Valerie Ames, Mother with Wisdom, and this is the second portion of um, this video. And as I shared in the first video, this is going to be the 8-card tarot reading from the Isis Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. And let's just get into it. The first card is the Chariot of Ascension, spiritual work of the higher initiate. And this is the card. Okay. Again, that is the Chariot of Ascension. And let's just see where that is. That is number 33, which is 06. And let's get to it. Okay. Spiritual work of the higher initiate. And this card is the Merkaba. Your soul wishes to travel more freely between the dimensions of higher reality. This is to allow for conscious spirit communication, the free will of soul light into the physical body, and the joining in divine harmony of heaven and earth. It requires a powerful consciousness to do this. The Merkaba Chariot of Ascension and Soul Fire is the spiritual gift to attain these divine purposes now, available to you as a high initiate. And again, beloveds, that first video, I spoke of the dream that I had and the house that I had, and it having 4 chambers, and the basement, the first floor, the second floor, and the attic. And if you really look at that, that is about ascension and descension. And the vehicle being the house or the conscious awareness itself, and being able to rise above the mental thoughts and beliefs and ideas present or that lived in that house or that existed in that house or that were built into the foundation of that house. And so let's keep going. There are times when the soul becomes ambitious and wishes to live its entire light in conscious oneness with all expressions of its being, including the physical body. It may wish to do so simply because it is the nature of all beings to eventually realize themselves as divine, or because it needs specific new skills to be available to the human expression in the physical body, so it can continue with its divine purpose. How brilliant is that? How inclusive is that? How integrating is that? These choices, those skills might be channeling divine energy or consciousness for healing, traveling easily between the worlds for conscious spirit communication, gaining greater artistic or creative ability because it feels wonderful to create, or any number of other purposes. This oracle brings you guidance that a special spiritual practice has come or is soon coming to your attention that will help your soul reach you more fully. That is so powerful, beloveds, and I will put why in the information or description area of this video. Those skills might be channeling divine energy or consciousness for healing, traveling easily between the worlds for conscious spirit communication, gaining greater artistic or creative ability because it feels wonderful to create, or any number of other purposes, this oracle brings you guidance that a special spiritual practice has come or is soon coming to your attention that you will help that will help your soul reach you more fully. It will be an advanced practice and it will serve you well at this time in your journey to reach the higher levels of capacity and spiritual responsibility that are available to you as a high initiate. Peace to you, beloved. Your spiritual work on this planet is greatly supported. The Chariot of Ascension Oracle also offers you a particular sacred teaching with the priestess of high initiates, Lady Isis. This is the practice of the Merkaba, soul vehicle or chariot of ascension. This vehicle is an energetic structure of sacred geometry that strengthens and protects you, allowing for your consciousness to travel instantaneously and freely between dimensions and realities without compromising your vibration or damaging your energy bodies. And beloveds, I have been sharing lately on my Facebook page the different types of bodies we have. The physical body, which is this, the mental body, which is our thoughts, the emotional body, which is our feelings, and the spiritual body, which incarnated and is unseen and is formless, but operates through all, and is at your heart and your core and your center, and is silent, but speaks to you, spirit to spirit. Merkaba is a vehicle of great strength and power and is best used with a heart dedicated in unconditional love and service. It can be used to travel on the inner planes to stars and temples for higher guidance in an instant, as well as to connect with other souls on the inner planes at various levels of evolution. It is recommended that such a practice only be used with permission granted from the soul in question and from a place of love and intention to be of healing service. Thus, the dream that I described in that first video, beloved, that was as they say, a Merkaba traveling experience, one that took me into the subconscious. So, let's go. Merkaba allows you to travel without the usual restraints upon your energy field, but like any powerful practice, there is a wise caution. You will travel and experience what is in your heart. Thus, when the attack was made on my grandbaby, I was able to wake up and out of it saying, that's enough. That's enough. You know, the dream had the ability to hold my conscious awareness. But when it went somewhere or tried to take me to some place that I was not willing to go, I was able to say, that's enough. That's it. Keep your heart open and clear, and do not use Merkaba if you are feeling uncentered, ungrounded, disconnected, or angry. It is a technique to use when you are feeling peaceful and aligned within yourself. At such times, great growth in consciousness is possible for you using Merkaba. The Oracle of the Chariot of Ascension is a gift of high-level spiritual training. Your wisdom in using what you have learned helps you make the most of the sacred gift. This oracle is as much about receiving the training as it is about knowing when to apply it and when to have restraint. The oracle of the chariot of ascension is also confirmation that you are growing spiritually and becoming ready for greater tasks and spiritual responsibilities. If you have been considering taking a step to engage in teaching or healing, in studying or practicing at a higher level, whether spiritually or in your chosen field or profession, you are encouraged to follow your heart and your destiny. That's funny because I believe it was yesterday. Um, the Jackson 5 album Destiny that was made in, I believe it was 1974, came up, and I just kept posting and posting and posting, and everything that was surfacing or resurfacing for me was about destiny. And so, again, beloveds, be consciously aware, be spiritually consciously aware. Open your heart to be receptive of what appears or what gives birth to itself or what manifests in your physical as well as your mental and emotional states of conscious awareness, because it is all relative. It is all part of the collective. It is your angels, it is your ancestors, it is your guides, it is spiritual communication. It's a language that you need to remember. You incarnated with the ability, and you forgot as soon as you learned to, most of us, how to speak and communicate in this world. We forgot the other language, the other way to communicate. Okay. Ritual of the Merkaba. This is an advanced healing practice. You are guided to complete the full practice if you are experienced in meditation and are able to remain grounded in your body. Beloveds, I am not going to read let me see. Okay. Okay. For those who do not have this book or who do not have the money to buy this book or just need to listen to what is being given through this what's this transmission, this exchange. Um, let me just read it. Ritual of the Merkaba. This is an advanced healing practice. You are guided to complete the full practice if you are experienced in meditation and are able to remain grounded in your body, even when in connection with higher energies. If you are unsure, start with the incantation below and build up the ritual in time. If you feel unwell during the ritual practice, draw it to a close immediately and finish your practice with the incantation. An experienced spiritual healer will be able to help you adjust your vibration to a level that is ready to embody Merkaba over time if you do not yet feel up to this practice. And beloveds, for time's sake, I am not going to reread that, but I suggest you rewind this video and replay it and listen deeply, because it's saying if you're not ready for this, don't attempt it. For this ritual, if you can do so comfortably, sit on the floor in meditation posture. Otherwise, use a comfortable seat and with your legs crossed underneath you or feet flat on the floor side by side. Have your arms resting on your legs with your palms facing upwards. Focus on your breath, allowing it to become relaxed all the way down into your belly. If you tend to breathe shallowly, Do not start this exercise until you have learned to slow and deepen your breathing, your breath to your belly. Say aloud this protection mantra: Goddess Isis that loves me unconditionally, protect me now. I rest in the heart of your love and peace, so be it. Master Serapis Bey will confirm. Once your breathing is restful and deep, become aware of a triangle prism, the 3 points of the base forming a triangle, reaching up to the 4th point above. The base of the prism easily sits well beneath your feet, and the point is high above your head. Visualize or intend that the prism be formed of electric violet light, which is pure white light with flecks of neon violet in it and around its edges. Take your time to build the prism with your intention until you sense it firm and stable, hovering around you comfortably. Once the first prism is clear to your mind, a second triangular base prism forms. It starts over your head as a triangular base, 3 points forming the triangle shape, and a 4th point of light deep beneath you forms the apex of the second prism. All 3 sides reaching down and converging at that point. The points of the second triangle prism are formed with electric violet light, joining each other with electric violet light, forming the second prism, with the base high above your head and the point deep below your feet, and you are sitting comfortably within it. 2 prisms intersect, forming a star prism all around you, with the base of the first prism under your feet and its apex point high in the heavens above your head. The base of the second prism at the top of your head and its apex point deep in the earth, and they form a star prism with 8 points in total, with you comfortably resting in the center. I'm going to show that to you, beloved. That's what it looks like. And this is what that Merkaba looks like. And you're within that. Okay? So you see the 2 of those merging. Take your time and really sense this prism of light around you, feeling the beauty of vibrant electric violet light flooding the points, sides, and base of your prisms as they form the star prism together. Stay with your breathing and allow the first prism, the one with base beneath you and the point above, to begin rotating naturally. It will move clockwise or from left to right. Just let it spin. You don't have to force it. It will happen naturally. Soon after you feel comfortable with this, allow the second prism, the one with the base above you and the point below you, to begin rotating naturally in the opposite direction or anti-clockwise from right to left. You can allow this to happen naturally. As the 2 prisms rotate, you will feel energy growing strong and moving your soul body and physical body into greater connection. You may literally feel as if you are rising up off the chair. Stay calm and keep breathing. Keep your thoughts clear and in your heart. If at any time you feel yourself lifting away from this reality and into a reality that you do not wish to visit, simply repeat the protection mantra in short from here. Isis sends Serapis Bey into my heart without delay. Stay connected to your breath and allow yourself to experience the Merkaba for short periods of time until you become used to its intensity. When you are ready, just open your eyes, really take your time to ground, and come back to awareness in your belly, awareness of the breath. You can say this incantation to gain strong spiritual connection and protection at any time. Lady Isis and Serapis Bey, shining bright, support my Merkaba, build my body of light, I am in your protection now, and from harm I am free. Allow me now with my inner divinity. Through my own free will as a being of light, I now allow my Merkaba to alight, arising from below and descending from above. Penetrate darkness too with divine light and love. Merkaba protection, body and spirit as one. Fragmentation and disconnection are now forever undone. And beloveds, I advise you to invest some of your time and your knowledge in who Isis is, in who Serapis Bey is, in what their life experiences were as they existed within their stories. And I advise you to contrast stories and ask for revelations of information for you. Also, I advise you to invest some time into understanding the violet light, which is also the chakra, the color violet above your head, which is your crown chakra, and what you're opening and what you're accessing with higher realms or higher parts of initiation or connection or directions into a more celestial um, flow rather than the root flow, which is more physical, more of the shadow realms, the dark. This is telling you to go high, to the highest, and that the violet lights is the ultraviolet lights. Look into that, and that is going to do it for that particular card. Let's move to the next card, Talisman of Potency, charging sacred objects of power. Talisman of Potency. Let's see here. Talisman of Potency. 170, which is an 8. Okay. And, beloveds, I am not going to read the rituals for these. You can look them up online if you want to. Talisman of Potency, charging sacred hours, objects of power. Sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and intention, helping you heal the split between spirit and matter, and learning to bring physical matter more deeply into light and life. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of the material world as a part of your spiritual practice. Your love for the physical world of matter is a gift to the earth too. As I was growing up, I was aware that certain objects had specific energy to it. Some of the things I was not allowed to touch. You know, when you are at an elder's house or even visiting some people's house, you don't touch everything. You know, that's not for you to touch. You can look, but you don't touch. Other things are passed down through the generations because they are sacred objects. And what they first were is sometimes lost in the hands of later generations. They just think it's a thing. But they don't know how powerful that thing truly is. Another one that most, I think, can relate to, especially in America, is the family Bible. That family Bible was a ritualistic, spiritually charged object. It had the names and dates of specific stories of your family, histories, her story. And because it was written in the Bible, it was sacred. And it became part of those sacred scriptures. And I remember as a child, there were many Bibles around my house, but there were certain ones that I was not allowed to touch. And those were the ones with the family trees. And those were the ones that were passed down from generation to generation. And those were the ones that survived as ancestral energy. That is what this is speaking of. So, this is not about making charms. It is not about idol worship. It is not about any of that. It is about understanding that you are a spiritual being. You are made of energy. And that you can transfer that energy into anything from this earth plane, into and onto, or onto, they say. And that can be passed on. And many have done it positively and negatively, so be aware of what you receive into your home, into your spiritual energy. What's the intention? Okay, let's go forward. And again, that ties in with that dream. That ties in with everything being in that one house, the energies that were exchanged, and then that last thing, that last piece that was being given to my grandson, that piece of candy, is when I said, no, that's it. No more energy exchanges. That's it. And I brought myself up out of that dream. So, beloveds, like I said, when I began this, you will see so many correlations between the two. Okay, here we go. You are guided to cleanse and charge sacred objects to empower your energy field and accomplish your spiritual mission now. These objects might be a wand, a chalice, a sword, a bowl, or even a special tile with an image that you love, a statue, cloth with a beautiful design, a natural crystal, or a black mirror, or a rock, shell, or feather you found waiting for you whilst out in nature one day. If finding a gift in nature, it is wise to ask the spirit of the earth if the item in question is intended for your healing work. And if you feel it is, then of course receive it with gratitude. If not, bless it and move on. This oracle is seeking to draw your awareness to your special ability to work with material objects, to awaken spiritual light within them. The material world is filled with light, and our loving attention can help awaken the light from within form. In the same way that someone seeing the best in you, knowing that you are truly capable of, can help you reach your dreams and become the self more fully, so too can holding an awareness that just like our bodies, the material world holds its own light and benefits from love, attention, and care. This is the loving art of integrating spirit into matter, and it is part of your spiritual potency and healing gift to be able to love the physical world as an element of your spiritual journey. And beloved, takes, that is the integration of spirit into matter. That is the purpose of our mission incarnating upon this planet, is to bring spirit into matter and to integrate them with unconditional love and compassion, and understand the different spectrums of frequencies and not try to control them, but to understand that they are elemental within their own natures, and they have their own cycle seasons, and will reform the circle as needed. So no worries. Objects become talismans when they are cleansed, dedicated, and charged with sacred intent. This is consecration, or the rendering of something into sacredness. Talismans are a way to enjoy a spiritual relationship with the material world. And let me just say this because it keeps popping up. This is the second time. Ancestors and the ancients and the guides used to pray over us and pray certain things into existence and pray over. I'm seeing blankets and scarves and cloths and stones and swords. They used to pray over these physical, material things in this world. And by praying over them, they were charging them with sacred intent. And they were cleansed and dedicated for a purpose. And those of us who are at a certain frequency need to start doing this again in the material world. Okay. It is not a matter of not being able to work without them, but more of enjoyment and beauty of working with the material world in a spiritual way. It's the integration. It is the oneness. It is the merging. It is the making love. This is also a way to heal any difficult relationship that you may have had with your mother, your body, eating and food, or with financial or physical security. It can also include difficulties in bringing your ideas into physical form, living your path in a practical and material way, and any other issues that stem from a wounded relationship to matter. Somehow seeing it as less than spirit. And beloved, that takes me back to that dream. Seeing the downstairs as being less than spirit. As powerful. What wonderful and varied healing effects talismans can bring to us. It's one house. And I said I started down there in that basement. So I denied myself once I got to a certain level up top. And I stopped loving myself or accepting myself or how I used to be. Instead of understanding that it's polarities and frequencies and that it is still one. Wow. This is also a way to heal any, I read that. What a wonderful and varied healing effects talismans can bring to us. It all starts with the honoring of light and matter, the sacredness of the material world. That is why we have such devotion to the sun and to the light. You hear people, oh, I'm a light bringer. I'm a light. It all starts with the honoring of light and matter, the sacredness of the material world. So before we can appreciate the sacredness of the material world, we have to see it through light. If you have been considering working with crystals for healing, or tarot cards or physical tools for spiritual growth, you are encouraged to do so by the Oracle of Talismans of Potency. They will help you grow and empower you. If you have an object in your space that you have been thinking of cleansing, perhaps a crystal or piece of jewelry, this oracle encourages you to do so using breath, salt, moonlight, or sound as you so choose. Remember that objects in the material world hold vibrations too. Cleansing with love and intention to dissipate negative energy is a way to care for the material world, helping awaken the light within. Beloveds, if you listen to that first video, um, and this one too, I guess, you'll remember me talking about the music and Shanice and what all that tied to. And you'll understand that that was using music to cleanse. Um, and I said on Facebook a couple of days ago, I do believe that I signed up to YouTube Music, and I said I would be using music much more. And here it is, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you have been considering building sacred jewelry or purchasing a crystal or other healing tool, you are encouraged to do so and learn to work with it. The Oracle or Talisman of Potency supports you in honoring the physical world and its beauty in your life in this way. And this is the incantation. Again, I am not reading the ritual cleansing and charging for talismans. I advise you to either purchase Elena Fairchild's The Isis Oracle or Google it online to find it. This is the incantation. You can say this incantation to bless an item during your ritual or for a mini blessing and cleansing at any time. Sacred object from the earth. You are cleansed now from negativity. You are clear and pure light of eternity. Sacred talisman now become. You are charged with light of perfection. You are blessed with divine intention. Sacred talisman, I honor your power. This is your task for every hour. And repeat your intention here. For example, cleanse and protect my energy field with a shield of impenetrable violet light. Through my own free will, with gratitude in my heart so full, so be it. And that is that card. And I am going to pause this video for just a moment and I will be right back. Okay, beloveds. Just trying to get this how it was and go up a little bit. There we go. Okay. let me stop it in. Okay, beloveds, there we go. We're just gonna get right back into it. The next card that was pulled is the Magic and Ritual Crafting Sacred Practice. Wow, this has a very these cards have a very centralized collective message to them. And I'm going to show you this card. And look at that bird right there by my fingers. And she has her wings spread. Okay, let's see what this card has to say. Magic and ritual crafting sacred practice. 102, which is a 3. Okay, here we go. Magic and ritual crafting sacred space. Crafting sacred practice. Wow, I said sacred space. Okay. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. And beloveds, I just want to take a moment, um, because that is so resonating in my heart right now, because it's letting me know that this entire 2 video series is exactly about that sentence. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. So your subconscious is created by your conscious awareness, that which you are aware of. And underneath that which you are aware of, from your mental, from your physical mental, your conscious awareness, not your spiritual, understand there is a mirror. The physical reflects the spiritual. That's the mirror. Okay? And understand just from this sentence that outside affects that inner, and that inner affects that outer. And it is only when they are integrated in both realms, or both minds, or both localities or locations, is that magic created. Because then they are in tune with each other, and they're in a flow, they are in accord. Magic and ritual can support your divine path now in the physical world, and you are encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice. The results that you can experience will encourage you to continue with the practice as you grow in power, grace, love, ability, and wisdom, and apply your inner beauty to transform your outer world. Thus, me sharing the dream to give that wisdom, to birth that wisdom into this material realm from the subconscious realm. That which was seeded has been born, has been reborn with intent, intention, purpose, and interpretation. From my perspective, the one that gave birth to it. But it is to be viewed, perceived, discerned for deeper revelations by you. And it's a gift being freely given and offered. For us to grow empowered and potent in the path of ancient feminine power, we need to honor our knowing and being and cultivate sacred practice. Sacred practice becomes the habit of growing our spiritual power and consciousness, like a garden needing regular care and watering to blossom and flourish. Our inner garden of the soul, where our creativity, joy, spiritual gifts, and bliss bubble away, also needs regular attention. Coming to our practice takes strength and inner will. Even though it can feel amazing, we still have to wake up, set aside time, and discipline ourselves to show up for our own inner growth. Aho and amen. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Beloveds, show up, own up, grow up. That's what came to me in this training that I was just in with Accelerated Evolution, which is a community that I am deeply part of now, and that I am investing myself, my spirit, my conscious awareness, my time, and my energy and my focus into. And I will give you that information in the description area of the content for this video. Coming to our practice takes strength and inner will, and even though it can feel amazing, we still have to wake up, set aside time, and discipline ourselves to show up for our own inner growth. That is such a smack in the back of the head for me, because I am that slow walking, slow talking sister. You know, it's just, I gotta connect the dots fully and re-examine them and wait a minute. But this is amazing, beloveds. This is amazing. We will reap the benefits when we do, but we must allow ourselves to fall in love with our practice, to craft something that really speaks to us so that we want to do it. The desire and discipline together help us engage with our practice regularly, and we can grow so fast it can be quite shocking. And that is what is happening to me. And my mentor in this A&E Accelerated Evolution is Satyen. And this is what he speaks of. Satyen Raja, this is what he speaks of. And the other master coaches, this is what they speak of. And this is the self-discipline. And him with that martial arts, and a couple more of the coaches coming from that martial arts perspective. That's a whole different kind of spiritual, mental, physical discipline. And when you have mastered that core, see, my discipline is more spiritual, psychological, It's not physical, as you can tell. But in pairing the two, in uniting the two, in allowing the two to marry, to meet, to make love, to unite, to join, to unite, there's a different discipline that is manifesting itself in my conscious awareness. And thus, like I said, I was able to realize I was dreaming, realize that I could control what I was dreaming, but to also allow it to flow. And when I didn't want to go any further, to say that's enough. So all of, like I said, the correlations, beloveds, is just beautiful. And don't just think everything is intuitive. Spiritual intuition is what we incarnate as. And when we get so detached, so disconnected from that original form of communicating, we lose our ability to even communicate with ourselves sufficiently. Wow, that was deep. Okay. Hmm. All right. Let me keep going. When an initiate shows particular promise, higher guidance will often encourage that they develop a regular practice to hone their spiritual and creative abilities and more fully manifest their divine potential. They will grow faster and stronger spiritually and be able to step into spiritual healing and leadership to greater effect. You are one such soul, dear initiate, and you are being guided to prepare for this growth and authority now with your sacred practice. And beloveds, this is not only talking to me, but it is, if you're watching this, it's speaking to you as well. And if you're watching it for someone else to pass on because your intuition or whatever guides you to do so, know that all is in divine order. That you are now ready to receive this. Like I said, I have been on this journey all of my life. Okay? And I guess 6 years ago, I kind of fell off the bike and got back on and told myself I was riding and I was okay and I was this. But I was deeply healing and I was unlearning some of the bad habits that I had learned in my journey, my spiritual journey on this material plane. And it is only now, like I said, that I've encountered what reflects my spiritual awareness of discipline that I am able to receive. Okay, Valerie, it's time to show up. It's time to grow up. It's time to own and not just talk and put it out there. Okay, I did my part. That's it. Leave me alone. No, it's time to get deeper than that. And like I said, that's what everything is showing me. And so you're witnessing my growth, my development, how spirit is literally hands-on working with me. Okay? And hands-on working with someone who believed they were so unworthy, who did not identify, who fractured and fragmented in order to handle and hold what she knew. And so you're being shown, beloveds. It's being given to you. And what you take from it and sell from it and do this and do that, that reflects upon you. You know? And I have to know that that is not my judgment. That is not my call. And that it is not for me to be attached to it once I put it out there and let it go. And so, like I said, all of this is coming up. And the parts of me that are saying, no, you got to hold on to it. It's yours. It's yours. And they're being disrespectful to you. And la, 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 la. That's the mind. That's my mind. And that's the only thing it has to use now. And I keep going back and forth with this. And I'm realizing, okay, Valerie, calm your mind down and reteach it, just have the patience to keep dealing with it because it no longer has all those. I used to react, okay? I didn't have time to respond because I was too busy reacting. I reacted before I responded. My reaction was my response. That's immature. That's a child having a tantrum. That kills critical thinking. That means you don't have critical thinking skills if you've got to immediately react. Reaction is your response. You know, if you are not in a life or death situation, your reaction, your immediate reaction is what is required of you. And that's why you see elders breathing. Well, as I recollect, you know, and they'll go into this, and you have to take your time with them, and we say, oh, that's because they slow, they old, and that's no, it's because they have the maturity to reflect rather than just to respond. And that is a discipline. That is a martial arts discipline right there. Okay? And if I was to put it in a category, I would give it to Tai Chi. Because it's not reflexive. It's a dance. It's an intention. It's an entering the flow instead of reacting to it. Okay. All of this is just bubbling up. Okay. This oracle is guidance that you do have great power and wisdom within you, but you need to provide channels for it to flow and be active and empowered in your physical life. Sacred practice is such a channel. Without these channels, the ego is left to create on its own, which is not much fun at all. Hallelujah, amen, pass the plate. The ego believes in fear and separation, and no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment, it really cannot do it without your spiritual presence in life. And that spiritual presence, beloved, is simply unconditional love for yourself. You have to be able to merge with that as an energy, as an incarnation, as an incantation, as a practice, as a ritual to envelop yourself and lose yourself and develop yourself and be reborn in unconditional love. With unconditional love, as unconditional love. That's spiritual. That's not mental. You do that in your spiritual heart, those 4 chambers in your spiritual heart, And if you look at your physical heart as being 2 chambers spiritual and 2 chambers physical, one empties out and one fills. And everything is about your circulation. Build upon the wisdom as we are divinely, wonderfully created, beloveds. Our Merkabahs, our vessel, is divinely created. Okay. The ego believes in fear and separation, and no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment, it really cannot do it without your spiritual presence in life. Ritual and magic, as a form of sacred practice, are recommended for you as a way to bring more spiritual presence into your waking life, to heal and support the ego as you learn to create a life that feels better and create better and brings you and others more fulfillment. Okay, I am having a